On the news, Buhari meets INEC chairman in Abuja. Again, Southeast governors meet to discuss security situation in the region. And reps commence public hearing on constitution review. Glad to have you join us in news now. I am Folashade Ogurinde. President Muhammadu Buhari today met with the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Muhammadu. Yakubu was accompanied to the meeting, which was held at the State House in Abuja by 5 INEC commissioners. Although details of the meeting were not officially disclosed, there are indications that it may be connected to the recent attacks on INEC facilities across the country. According to INEC records, 11 of its offices were either set ablaze or vandalized last month alone, particularly in Enugu, Anambra, Abia, Imo, Akwa Ibom and Ebonyi states. Mahmoud Yakubu's meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari comes hours after the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, declared open a national retreat on the validation of the Commission's 2022 to 2026 strategic plan and strategic program of action. At the event held in Lagos, Yakubu lamented the continuous attack on its facilities across the country, saying the situation is disturbing. The INEC chairman, who was represented by a national commissioner and chairman of Outreach Committee, Adekunle Ugumola, said despite the attacks, it will beef up security and go ahead with the Anambra governorship election, which is scheduled to take place on November 6.
We have our own election risk management procedure, and that is the only way we can deal with this issue, because we have always envisaged that before elections there are acts of violence that are perpetrated, but this one is on a scale that is disturbing to the Commission, and we'll find a way around it so that it will be accommodated in the strategic plan. For INEC, it won't be a difficult thing to plan for the Anambra election. You see, we've had similar occasions in the past, similar incidents in the past. For instance, that of Ondo State, where some card readers were burnt, we were able to make amends, and we conducted the elections without an hitch. As for Anambra, I can assure you that we will conduct that election without any problem.
The major concern that I am foreseeing is that this plan spans over 2 electoral cycles, because it's going to cover the 2023 elections. We are going to draw the EPP from there, Election Project Plan for 2023, and it's going to expire in 2026, just before the 2027 elections. So we have a lot of work to do and a lot of thinking to do to see what's going to happen. We've seen what we can do within the limits that we are facing. Diaspora voting, essentially, the Commission has been ready for that for quite a while, except that the legislations have to be amended and so on. We wait and see how they unfold. We have innovations, technological innovations. We are thinking of the EVM machines, as we are aware. We have mentioned that earlier. We are working towards that direction.
The ongoing public hearing on the amendment of the 1999 Constitution is part of the effort of the House of Representatives to ensure a participatory and inclusive approach in the Constitution review process. Speaker House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila said this at the opening of the public hearing of Constitution review for the Lagos, Ogun and Oyo states. He said the exercise will help provide the lawmakers with requisite knowledge and information that will be needed in the amendment process. TV360's Abisola Adebayo reports.
The Ninth Assembly is determined to review the 1999 Constitution as clamored by Nigerians, and the House of Representatives Committee for the Review of the Constitution is here in Lagos to take submissions from Nigerians on the amendment. Speaker of House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila says the exercise is important to the unity, peace and development of Nigeria and should be taken seriously.
The decisions we make now will have far-reaching consequences for the future of Nigeria. A nation's constitution is the foundation of its existence. It is supposed to set the terms of our nationhood and define who we are in a manner that reflects both our common truths and highest aspirations. Our constitution falls short of this standard because the 1999 Constitution is the product of a hurried national compromise that we entered into 2 decades ago.
Nkiru Oyejeoka, who is the chairman of the House of Representatives Constitution Review for Lagos, Ogun, and Oyo State, highlights the 4 key areas the Constitution amendment shall focus on.
The committee issued a call for memoranda and received submissions covering a wide range of issues, including local government autonomy, devolution of powers, indigenous and citizenship rights, electoral reforms, judicial reforms, socio-economic and cultural rights, gender equity, women's political representation, police and security architecture, among others. Based on memoranda received so far by the House from the public and members' bills referred to the committee at its maiden retreat held in Abuja highlighted 4 major areas as being very important. Number 1, local government reform. Number 2, electoral reform. Number 3, judicial reforms. Number 4, women's rights and political participation.
The Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Femi Amzat, commends the Ninth Assembly for taking up the challenge of reviewing the Constitution, which many believed is long overdue.
This is what true democracy is all about. The exercise of the sovereign will of the people. The voices and wishes of the people must always be heard loud and clear regarding how they wanted to be governed and how they wish to be governed. As the Constitution is the foundational body of principles defining our existence as a nation and spelling out the rights and responsibility of all people and all stakeholders, it is therefore necessary to subject the document to a constant process of review and updating to ensure that it keeps up with the changing times and contexts.
The public hearing on the review of the 1999 Constitution is taking place across the country simultaneously by the Senate and the House of Representatives. The recommendations gathered across the country are expected to guide the Parliament in amending the Constitution. Abisola Adebayo, TV360, Lagos.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a formal letter to the Senate seeking the confirmation of the newly appointed Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farooq Yahya. The request, which was contained in an executive communication to the Senate President Hamad Lawan, was read during plenary on Tuesday. Major General Yahya replaces Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atahiru, who died in an air crash alongside 10 other officers on May 21. Until his appointment, the new Army Chief was the theater commander of Operation Hadin Kia Akai, the counter-insurgency operation in the northeast.
Letter from Mr. President. Confirmation of appointment of the Chief of Army Staff. Dear Distinguished Senate President, in compliance with the provisions of Section 18, Subsection 1 of the Armed Forces Act, Cap A20 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, I hereby forward for confirmation by the Senate the appointment of Major General Farooq Yahya as the Chief of Army Staff of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. His CV is herewith attached. It is my hope that the Senate will consider and confirm the nominee in the usual expeditious manner. Please accept, Distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari.
The Southeast Governors Forum has urged security agencies to immediately arrest those responsible for the murder of All Progressives Congress APC Chieftain Mohammed Gulak. This is contained in a statement issued by the chairman of the forum and governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, after a virtual security meeting on Tuesday. The governors condemned the murder of Gulak in Owerri, Imo State as a national catastrophe, while condoling with the families of all those who have lost their lives during the moment of violent hostilities in the region. The governors vowed to bring to justice all those involved in what they described as the armed banditry currently ravaging the southeast. They, however, appealed to the people to exercise restraints and allow security agencies to continue with their investigations. heads of different civil society organizations, including human rights lawyer Femi Falana, and scores of Lagosians took to the streets on Monday to protest against the insecurity and poverty ravaging the country. Organizers of the protest, tagged "Enough is Enough," say it is aimed at expressing their displeasure over how badly the country has degenerated. Our correspondent Abisola Adebayo tells us more.
A peaceful march with placards explaining their concerns, coupled with solidarity songs. This is how the coalition of civil society groups in Lagos chose to say enough is enough to insecurity in Nigeria. The protesters, made up of several groups, marched from the popular Ikeja bus stop to the governor's office, through the secretariat to the Lagos State House of Assembly. On what they have described the National Day of Action Against Insecurity, they are asking for urgent actions to be taken against the incessant kidnappings as well as the killings of innocent Nigerians, including security personnel in the country.
Insecurity where our children are kidnapped in hundreds from school, that has degenerated to the level of police being killed, and not even just on the street, in their police barracks and zonal offices, where INEC offices are not safe again, where military officials are also killed in random by so-called unknown gunmen. So what happens to the ordinary civilian and defenseless people on the street? So we are seeing a very serious degeneracy in the level of insecurity in the country, and that has necessitated the need to speak across the country.
You can imagine a country where poor parents mobilize funds, buy motorbikes, and go and be exchanging it with banditry. Does it mean there is no security any longer in the country?
The civil society groups also blame the state of the nation on the political failure of the present administration.
We are wallowing in insecurity and poverty, deprivation, that there is fear, and lack of optimism and hope for the future. It's as a result of political failure. So we are here to express our deep anger and our sorrow that a country that has promised so much is now virtually crawling on its knees.
Lamenting the deteriorating state of the country's economy, they also asked the government to find a lasting solution to the problems the country is facing.
The governors will collect security funds and they keep those billions of naira in their pockets. That is not what we want. We want the lives of the people to be safe.
Insecurity is not a new phenomenon here, but it's getting worse by the day. We're asking you, because Lagos is where everybody comes to. This is the home of every Nigerian. And we're asking you to intensify your effort.
Lagos lawmakers who attended to the protesters sympathized with Nigerians and thereafter asked for cooperation to be able to tackle the challenges.
The suffering of the masses is the headache of the government, and it has to be addressed, because the more people that are at peace, we put peace on. If so many people are hungry there, it fights back on the electorate, because most of our constituents also will not allow us to raise their. They'll be asking us for this, asking us for that, because they are in need. It's not that we are perfect. Yes, we might not be perfect, but we still need you to support us to be perfect.
The issue of insecurity in the country remains a daunting challenge, with more attacks in different areas across the country. But the government has continuously assured that with different tactics deployed so far, the nation will heave a sigh of relief soon. Abisola Adebayo, TV360, Lagos.
Moving on, the management of the National Examination Council, NECO, has confirmed the death of its registrar, Godswill Obioma. According to Obioma's son, who announced the incident on behalf of the family, the NECO registrar died on Monday after a brief illness at the National Hospital in Abuja. The Niger State Police Command also described claims that Obioma was assassinated by unknown gunmen in Minna as untrue. The late professor was appointed as NECO registrar by President Muhammadu Buhari on May 14, 2020. Until his appointment, it was the Ebonyi State Resident Electoral Commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. We'll take a break here, but still to come, reactions show NNPC's plan to acquire 20% stake in Dangote Refinery. Welcome back. Well, let's now take a recap of some of our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari today met with Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Mohammed, and 5 INEC commissioners at the State House in Abuja. Although details of the meeting were not officially disclosed, there are indications that it may be connected to the recent attacks on INEC facilities across the country. We also told you that the Southeast Governors Forum has vowed to bring to justice all those involved in what they described as armed banditry currently ravaging the region, while condoling with the families of all those who have lost their lives during the moment of violent hostilities in the region. They also appealed to the people to exercise restraint and allow security agencies to continue with their investigations. And anti-COVID-19 stories and updates. As more Nigerians get vaccinated, the Nigerian government has expressed concern over scarcity of COVID-19 vaccines. This comes as India, Nigeria's supplier of the AstraZeneca vaccine, battles to contain the deadly second wave of the pandemic. However, the Minister of Health, Osage Ehanire, has given assurances that all Nigerians will get inoculated within the stipulated period. Details in this next report. Amid cheers from government officials, President Muhammadu Buhari received a second jab of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. With the camera rolling, it's an obvious move to encourage Nigerians to accept the vaccines and discourage vaccine hesitancy.
We are not being deadly in Nigeria relative to even more developed countries. Look at the casualties in India, Brazil, United States, and so on. So I congratulate you, the medical teams across the society. I think you have been able to handle the situation, and I hope we will be economically disposed to give most of Nigerians the vaccination when it is available.
But with Nigeria close to achieving its target of inoculating 2 million Nigerians, vaccine acceptance might be the lesser challenge at hand.
Vaccine manufacturers now are under pressure to deliver to those countries who are really suffering. As you know, India and some other countries are having very serious waves and are deciding to take care of their own problem, particularly India, who supplied us the ones we are using now. We haven't got the required vaccines yet. We are giving the second dose to all those who have received the dose number 1, so that we can have a pool of people who have received full immunization while we wait for more doses to arrive of these vaccines for other Nigerians.
The plan, according to the Minister of Health, is to switch to the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which hopefully will be delivered by August, while vaccination kicks off in September. But in the meantime, federal government aims to finish off all 4 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccine, achieving a full inoculation cycle for 2 million Nigerians.
We started off by targeting 2 million Nigerians with the 4 million doses of AstraZeneca we received, so that at the end of the day we'll have full vaccination of Nigerians, 2 million Nigerians that are fully vaccinated, rather than 4 million Nigerians that are partially vaccinated, especially because of the global supply that is really stringent. So far, we've been able to vaccinate 1,950,000 Nigerians with the first dose. That's about 97% of the 2 million people that we've targeted.
As the country records a surge in COVID-19 cases and deaths, the affairs of an influx of the deadly Indian variant, but government says all measures have been put in place to prevent a third wave. We'll take a break here and return with more stories and business. To stay with us. Welcome back. Well, up next is business stories and stock market review with Mary Khan. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you very much for that, Shade. And now in business, reactions have continued to trail the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation's decision to acquire equity in 6 private refineries across the country, one of which is the Dangote refinery. The state oil firm, in a statement, explained that acquiring equity in the private refineries is important for national energy security and in line with federal government policy, which stipulates participation in any privately owned refinery that exceeds 50,000 barrels per day capacity. Earlier, we spoke to oil and gas experts Bala Zaka, who explained that investment in national assets should be the government's primary focus.
Dangote refinery came up as an individual initiative. I will appreciate it if it is allowed to go ahead as an individual initiative. If at any point Dangote wants to bring in partners from outside for whatever reason, then let that be made known to Nigerians or to likely investors. And to that extent, if NNPC or the Nigerian government wants to invest in Dangote refinery, I don't have a problem with that. I think I will also prefer to advise, personally as an individual, that the Nigerian government and NNPC should focus more on revamping our own national-owned refineries. That is how national governments do, whether it is in China or in Korea or in Brazil or anywhere.
We'll take a pause here and return with a review of the Nigerian stock market. Don't go away. No doubt, these are uncertain times for the equities market as another downturn was witnessed at the close of today's trading, and the bear continues to grapple with the market, which saw the all-share index plunge to 0.06% and market capitalization dropped by 12 billion naira. Similarly, a decrease in the prices of some high-value stocks like Afrifood and Champion and 17 other equities initiated the losses witnessed today. Inversely, UPL and Morrison and 18 other equities were registered as today's gainers, and this signals an opportunity for new investors to enter the market with some patience and caution. They would get better return for their investment. Now, moving on, today's activity chart saw 274 million shares valued at over 2 billion naira exchange hands in 4,159 deals. Now, moving on to the foreign scene, the month of June got off to a roaring start for the US and the UK stocks as the manufacturing sector gave a significant lift to global economic recovery hopes, which sees the bulls lead FTSE and Dow Jones at 0.82% and 0.40%, while Asian stock Nikkei couldn't keep its head above waters as it's currently trading in the reds at 0.16%. Well, that's all on today's review of the stock market. Over to Folashade for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Mary, for that update. Moving now to the foreign scene, Uganda's former Minister of Works and Transport, Edward Wamala, on Tuesday morning survived an assassination attempt on his life in a suburb of the capital, Kampala. However, his daughter Brenda Wamala and driver Aruna were killed in the attack. According to witnesses, the three were driving to Kampala when they were intercepted by 4 gunmen on motorcycles who showered bullets at the car before fleeing the scene. The minister has since been rushed to Kampala Hospital for treatment. Well, up next is the entertainment report.
Ogedon's 2019 blockbuster Gold Statue has been acquired by global streaming platform Netflix and confirmed for a June 1, 2021 premiere. Written and directed by the veteran filmmaker, the movie wormed its way into the heart of Nollywood film lovers for its gripping story and star-studded cast. Reportedly scripted by Ogidon in 1991, the film follows the adventures of two young men who go in search of a treasure gold statue. Gold Statue launched Ogidon's Nollywood comeback following an 8-year hiatus. Actors Gabriel Afolayan and Kunle Remi starred in lead roles, with Shola Sobowale, Richard Mofedamijo and others in supporting roles. Popular crossdresser Bobrisky has opened up on the difficulties that comes with having a BBL surgery, stating that he is currently in pains. A Brazilian butt lift is a specialized fat transfer procedure that augments the size and shape of the buttocks without implants. Last week, Bobrisky revealed to his fans that he was going for a gender reassignment surgery at Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, adding that he was scared and nervous to undergo the surgery, but he has paid for the procedure. According to the Instagram male Barbie, the surgery is being done outside Nigeria, despite claims by some people that surgery is being done in Lagos. Despite all of these claims, Bobrisky earlier in the day gave fans a glimpse of his new backside, insisting that he is in so much pain. That's all we have for you on the entertainment segment of News Now.
Away from entertainment and now to sports, the International Table Tennis Federation has announced the qualification of Nigeria's Cordray Aruna for the rescheduled 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan. ITTF's competition director Gabo Falegi announced Aruna's qualification in a letter addressed to the President of Nigeria Olympic Committee and copied the President of Nigeria Table Tennis Federation. Aruna is the first African in Olympic Games history to make it to the quarter-final stage of the competition's singles events. He joins 85 others across the globe to compete in the men's singles event at Tokyo Olympic Games next month. Well, that's it on our news bulletin. Thank you for watching. I am Folashade Ogrinde.